I see Boruto hate I click. You're gonna be very disappointed with this stream. Oh my god. Yeah, this ain't that kind of Boruto hate, buddy. 6 from Dakota. You getting time for that, bro. Hell no. Ain't no nigga calling me 6 from Dakota. I'll be damned a nigga from Dakota. Who is from Dakota? Name one celebrity from either the Dakotas, North or South. Name one celebrity. Fuck it. Don't even name a celebrity. That don't even matter. Name one person from North or South Dakota that has over 400,000 followers on any platform. Isn't 6 from Cleveland? You're like, come on, bro. Fucking Cleveland, bro. Come on, dude. Look, you forgot Dakota existed. Yep, North and South Dakota. From Iowa. I mentioned your name to Cartho's dojo during his stream the other day. He said he's okay working with him on a video and appearing as a guest star. Hey, that's cold as shit. I mean, Cartho could tell me that himself. I love talking to Cartho. I love talking to Cartho. He's so cool. Every time I talk to I don't talk to Cartho that often, right? Me and Cartho probably talk like twice a year. But whenever we talk for like hours on end, like 4+ hours. He's cold. The Shinju are just even more goth at Katsuki? Wrong. The Shinju are the even more goth Otsutsuki. Or the goth Otsutsuki, whatever you want to call it. Either one of those works. Finally live at a good time? Yes, I am live at a good time. I'm going to talk about Boruto hate in a minute, but I want to have my thoughts gathered in my head first before I start talking about it. You talk about Jura today? Yeah. I'm gonna talk about Jura. All the shit. Boruto is ass. I mean, I guess if we lie, yeah. If we lie, I guess we could say that. Will Boruto go at least 70 chapters? I'm banking on somewhere around like 40 to 50. High on the higher end of that though, like maybe 50. Someone had brought up a good point when I was talking about it before. It's like the part 2 of series tend to be longer than the part 1, especially when it comes to shonen. Like Dragon Ball Z is longer than Dragon Ball. Shippuden is longer than Naruto. There were some other examples I cannot remember right now. But with JJK, I mean, that's already not the case. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck Jade is talking about. Kevin Gates feature, and nigga went on my stream. TVV doesn't need to be longer than Naruto Next Generations. Yeah, I mean, I guess. If it's 50, we'd be halfway through right now. Yeah. I kind of see it that way. Like I'm kind of looking at the end of the Matsuri Ryu arc as Boruto's mid-series finale, you know? And like now we're heading into what will be the we'll get an arc. So we're gonna get the arc with Bug going after Ada and Damon. It's like Bug is gonna be the main antagonist here. I don't imagine this arc is gonna last too long. And then after this, we'll head into what will be the final arc. And the final arc, I think, is gonna be one of those things where there's like multi-stage villains, sort of like the war arc. like Kawaki, like this is like I don't know just yet. Kawaki and Jura might both be final villains in that sense, like the same way Kabuto, Obito, Madara, and Kaguya and Sasuke. Like you can sort of say all of them were final villains. What's that chapter in Naruto? What's that chapter in Naruto that like shows all three of the big battles currently going on? Is it maybe 578? Hold on. Yeah, 578. I'm so cold. Oh my god. All right. But you see, like here, like these are the big battles of the war. I haven't like I don't have my final thoughts on whether or not Kawaki's gonna be the final villain. I'm leaning towards no. Um, but I don't know who the final villain would be aside from him. Like it's not like I'm not. And I says I'm not one of the people who cares too much for foreshadowing. Like if the final villain gets introduced right after Kaguya, I'm sorry, right after Kawaki, like we don't even know who he is, and then he gets introduced right after Kawaki. I'm perfectly fine with that. I don't really care. But and to be honest, the only reason I'm leaning no, Kawaki won't be the final villain is because it seems too obvious. You know, like it seems that seems like the obvious play to me. It seems like the obvious play is to have Kawaki be the final villain for Boruto. And then we get like our bittersweet ending. The ending for Boruto is not going to be happy like Naruto. I know that. I'd bet money on it. I wish there were odds for that. I'd bet money on it. I'll put on everything I would. Boruto's gonna be Boruto's final villain. Fuck no. I really hope everything with Bug and Ada is short. It probably will be. It probably will be. I don't see. Like I said, I think that's where we're headed next. I don't see that arc going past 8 chapters. Realistically, I really don't. Sasuke being the final villain is pretty obvious as well. Then again, Boruto seems to subvert expectations a lot more. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like it's too obvious. Like with Boruto losing everything, like we knew that would happen, right? But the way it happened, like no one was thinking that. And there's like the tiniest, teeniest bit of foreshadowing for it too. I doubt I'm gonna be able to find the chapter. Hold on, let me see if I can just grab it really quick. There's a time when Momoshiki is talking to Boruto and it gets brought up. Let's see. When does Ada defect to the Leaf Village? Maybe chapter 76 is what I'm thinking of. Mm, man, what the fuck? Which one was it? Is it 75? No, 75 is the Shiba shit, ain't it? Yeah, it is. Might be 77. We need niggas for this, bro. We need niggas that go around Boruto and just write down what chapter every interaction happened in. That way niggas just go look at it. It's 72? Wait, what's in 72? Do you even know what I'm looking for? What's in 72? Yeah, it's not here. Yep, it's not here. Ada arrives to the village at 74. Yeah, it might be 77 then. Let me see. I want to find a guy. I think it's so cool. It's so cool. I just need a time where Momoshiki talks to Naruto, or not Naruto, Boruto. No, this is Kawaki. 75. It can't be 70. I was just looking at this chapter. Momoshiki, I don't even think Momoshiki talks to Boruto in this chapter. Oh, this is just him talking to Boruto about the damn switch. You're talking about the line in 76. Well, in 76, the line is at the beginning of the chapter. But it's and it's a flashback. Oh no, here it is. This is what I was talking about. I was looking at the wrong place in the chapter. Yeah, here it is. So they shall eventually take everything away from you. And then it flashes over to Ada. It's talking about her eyes, not Boruto's. And I'm pretty sure these are the only hints. I'm pretty sure this is the only hint that Ada is gonna cause the switch. Or cause Boruto to lose everything. The 2 chapters before the switch. Where's the switch? Is the switch 78 or 9? No, the switch is in 79. This shit happened in 76. 3 chapters before the switch. You're close. I could probably take Naruto without Kurama. You couldn't take a Girl Scout. 344 hatch. How does Momo's future sight or predictions even work? He just gets he gets glimpses of the future. And even then, I guess it's not certain. Apparently, Boruto is supposed to get his lives swapped and then just give up. At least according to Momo, that's what was gonna happen. Momo started tweaking out that he wasn't doing that. He's yelling at him. Ryan Gosling Star Wars movie? Nah, I'm not really excited for that. I easily can be though. Just show me a good trailer. I love Star Wars. If the future isn't set in stone, Momo's ability is kind of ass. But Momo's ability is still kind of good though. The only thing he got wrong was Boruto like giving up on life. He even knew the moves specific people were gonna make. Momo's future sight is a callback to part one Naruto. Damn. Isn't Boruto supposed to get the Jogan or something? I mean, I hope so. I hope so. It's a bit. It's like unclear in the manga for sure. For sure, but I mean, he should just get it. Isn't it like the omniscience of Koji? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And Koji has prescience, not omniscience. Like even Koji, like even through Koji's ability, we know the future isn't set in stone. Like he didn't know that dude. No way. Oh, I thought this shit was fucking up again. Okay. But even with Koji's ability, the future isn't super set in stone anyway. Like he knows timelines that are more likely to happen than others, but that's it. You're gonna tap in with Chainsaw Man? I don't know. Chainsaw Man is not that good to me. I read part one and I read some of part two, but I don't know, it just wasn't that good. Like I couldn't keep reading it. What I was doing with part two is just letting chapters pile up and then catching back up all at once. Like I would let 5 chapters pile up and then catch back up. I would do that over and over again. There was nothing to keep my interest with that manga. But look, so listen. So we all know about the JJK sequel, right? And if you don't know about it, okay, I just told you about it. Fucking JJK sequel. Right now, because of this JJK sequel and the nature of what it is, it's getting compared to Boruto a lot, right? Like it's getting compared to Boruto pretty much in every way, just because okay, it is a sequel to a big shonen, and on top of that, it's it features aliens the same way Boruto features aliens, and then so come across this video, and this was posted by K1, but the video is from a guy named Architect. Actually, let me see if I can just find Architect video on it on TikTok. Hold on. Let's see. I'll just pull his video up. That would be much easier. Is it this? Yeah, I think this is it. Okay. This video. Man, this is like... Ah, shit. Hold on. The fuck off the screen, Skins. Alright. A lot of parallels to Boruto. Yeah. JK Next Generations.
Why does this get hated on? But
I might pause this like in the middle. His name is no Architect is Divine Anime. He wants to go by Architect, and I'm gonna call him Architect. I don't care about that shit.
Why does this get hated on, but this gets glazed? Talking about Gege Akutame's new manga that is a JJK spin-off where they will have aliens. Well, the reason why no one bats an eye about JJK having aliens is because they already have spirits and monsters. They're also able to create...
Now, hold on a damn minute. Okay, it's going to be one of those where I'll pause. I didn't fully watch this video before. Architect just famously has bad takes. So when I saw it, I was like, okay. And then K1 like explained the context of the video anyway, whenever they posted it, but Naruto has spirits and monsters. Naruto has spirits and monsters. Hold on. Is that shit on page 1? Are spirits and monsters on page 1 of Naruto? I think they are. Once upon a time, there lived a fox spirit. This is page 1. Fox spirit with 9 tails, and he was so powerful that whenever he shook those tails, landslides and tsunamis would result. The suffering people gathered the great shinobi clans to fight this menace, finally risking his life. One ninja was able to imprison its soul. Having defeated the demon, the brave shinobi died. That shinobi was the 4th Hokage, the Fire Shadow, champion of the village, hidden leaf. First page. First page of Spirits and Monsters. Let's see. What else is he gonna say?
They already have spirits and monsters. They're also able to create, these domains that are like small dimensions.
Kaguya does that. Or okay, no, fuck that. Jiraiya does that. Don't even bring up Obito does that.
What regular person can just spawn this out? How?
There's other people that can do that too. I'm forgetting right now. Oh, Orochimaru. Orochimaru does that. I feel like there's one more guy. Who else does that? Orochimaru, Obito, Jiraiya. No aliens. Just who else does that? Ibiki? Nah, there's one other person I'm not thinking of right now. Manda has a dimension in his stomach? That's gross.
How did this come to be? On top of that, a regular person can just spawn this out. How did this come to be? On top of that, you have a literal god that literally reincarnated known as Sukuna. So wondering where he came from.
Sukuna ain't no fucking god.
Some sort of background. While
what is he talking about? Sukuna's a dude. He's just some normal dude who's really strong.
Naruto was just about ninjas, and it already had an explanation of how everything started. That the Sage of Six Paths literally created everything, gave everybody the ninju, all of it. So we already had the backstory, we already had the background, we knew exactly how everything worked for like over 15 years, and now randomly at the very
15 years, didn't the whole for one, wasn't the Hagoromo thing all that was a myth in the first place, but that shit, it was not 15 years between that and Kaguya. We didn't start learning about Hagoromo until what, in the 400s? Maybe even, no, yeah, it was in the 400s that we were getting Nagato's backstory and running into Jiraiya. What is he talking about?
Middle of Shippuden. Now we're going to start adding in aliens that never existed before in the story. So
yeah. Right. That's the same thing that happened in JJK.
Aliens that never existed before in the story. Start adding in aliens that middle of Shippuden. Now we're going to start adding in aliens that never existed before in the story. So yes, this is why we're upset. Because it was never in the story to begin with. It just got randomly put in while there was already...
This is the same thing that happened with JJK.
15 years of consistent of what the story is about, and then changed it. This was not like that. This did not have 15 years of it's a specific way.
Did JJK come out in 2018? I don't know. I don't know. Oh, is the stream tweaking? Or is it? Oh. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that was. That wasn't even my internet. That was YouTube. But I don't know. This video has to
And
be
then all
rage
got
bait.
changed because the author just wanted to add in something new. Anime.
Yeah, like this shit has to be rage bait. Like that. First chapter was March 2018. Yeah. But that shit genuinely just has to be rage bait. There's no way. Like there's no way. There's no way that did you just get to that conclusion? There's just dead ass no way. You genuinely believed this? I doubt it. He might say he genuinely believes it, but I really doubt it. I doubt that he believes that. There's just no way.
Just one
The fuck is this? I guess this guy must hate Dragon Ball Z then. No, because Dragon Ball Z was they had monsters and spirits in Dragon Ball Z. And you can't miss it. I guess maybe you can skip page 1 in Naruto, but you can't skip the monsters in Dragon Ball. And you'd also have to skip a lot more in Naruto, but you get what I mean. Very first shot of the Naruto anime shows a 9-tailed fox demon. The story is only about ninja. Is that really in the at the beginning of episode 1? Let me pull up episode 1. Naruto. Damn, nigga, immediately? I didn't know the Naruto anime started off like that. I ain't never seen this shit before. Oh my god, it's Minato. Yeah, nigga, this shit tough. Turn this shit off before I get copyrighted. Actually crazy how good at Kurama is when you think about it. What do you mean? It's not crazy. No, Kurama's tough. I mean, to his aura forming out the jump, hell yeah. Da-da-da-da-da. Uh, all right. Hold on. All right. My bad. I was doing something. But okay, so from the architect video and from the reception of JJK sequel in general, I get the feeling that the way people are justifying the same stuff in JJK that they aren't doing for Boruto. That, and this just has to be the conclusion. Argue with a wall if you think I'm wrong. It's very clear that Boruto hate must be a necessary existence for the universe. And that's just facts. Like that just has to be the case. It has to be the case that, like, even if every problem people brung up with Boruto is fixed, they would just hate all the new shit. I truly think that. It must be the case. Inhaling Galaxy Cat. I don't even think I'm being like crazy with this one. It's like no matter what, Boruto's gonna get hate for something. For something. I think Naruto had a stronger legacy than JJK, so people are way more critical of any new shit. I mean, yeah, that's probably like the realistic answer, but I prefer my answer, where, like you know how Gojo, he creates impossible situations and the universe corrects them, and then that creates the pull effect for Blue. It's like the same thing with Boruto. Like, Boruto will be good, which the universe deems impossible, so it'll make people hate the good stuff that they already like in other things. Most people tend to not like things that start off bad. I don't think Boruto started off bad. I've been critical of Boruto's beginning before, though. I mean, Boruto didn't have the best art in the beginning. Actually, it was pretty bad. And like the decision to have Boruto against Naruto at the beginning, it probably wasn't all too wise, you know. But it's cool. I still like it. The only reason I even had to the only reason I even have that take is because of the reception to it. I was like, yeah, we just sat with Naruto, loving Naruto for 700 plus chapters. Well, I probably didn't love Naruto that long, but you get what I mean. And then we see Naruto like achieve his dream, and then Boruto's like hating on him for it. It's like, it's very understandable why you would get a negative reaction from the audience doing something like that. They might butcher the ending in JJK3. No way. Look, if the story is truly running for half a year, there's no way they don't have the beginning, middle, and end planned out. No way. No fucking way. If Gege and Iwasaki and whatever other editors decided, okay, we're going to put out a manga for half a year, but we're just going to wing it. Like, we're just going to write it as we go. Then they're the biggest group of idiots imaginable. If your manga is going to be 3 volumes and be coming out for half a year, there's no reason for you not to have the entire story planned out. And then, we were talking about this last stream. Like, what does everyone think about this getting an anime? Like, we know it's going to be a while before it even does. And if it does get an anime, I don't think they're going to make it a separate IP. It'll probably just get tacked on as like JJK season 5. What JJK have? Yeah. It'll probably get tacked on as JJK season 5. I don't trust them to not butcher another ending. There's no way. There's literally no way. There's no way that this manga's ending ends up being bad too. At the very least, and because we know Gege has seen the receptions to the ending. At the very least, Gege is a more experienced mangaka now. So they should know already niggas are not fucking with that. Like the type of bullshit ending that they put together. What I think about the chapter, I thought the chapter was okay. It was very okay. It wasn't. There was nothing like super stand out about it. And I mean, honestly, if it wasn't tied to JJK, I probably wouldn't be reading chapter 2. You know, you considering getting into Kagurabachi? Yeah, I've been considering that for a while. Just gotta open the pages. You really gotta clear Megami's name? Hell no. If anything, I want Giga to play into the joke. Like, I want Giga to throw in something that can be very easily misinterpreted. Like, they're talking about how Megami died, and they're like, well, like Megami went on a mission solo because it was just like a standard grade 3 curse, and he was gonna like meet up with us somewhere else. And then the mission got out of hand and he died. So from that, you could obviously extract, okay, it wasn't just a grade 3 curse. So Megami got into over his head and died, right? But you could also say Megami just couldn't handle the grade 3 curse. I want some shit like that in that manga. They already think he got killed by some weak curse with no evidence. No, but I want the evidence. I need that line that can be misinterpreted. Just give me that line so I can misinterpret the fuck out of it. Instead of saying a grade 3, you got jumped by 2 fly heads. Come on, dude. That's too far. I need grade 3. I'll even take grade 2 or semi-grade 1. All of those are still like diabolical compared to what we saw in like the last 70 chapters of JJK. Like, nobody should be losing the semi-grade 1 curses at that point. Isn't he a big Raga? How would he lose? He could lose with Maharaga. Pull out Maharaga. Maharaga kills Megami and the curse. Boom, both dead. Megami could die to the grade curse. Grade curse? What the fuck is the grade curse? I don't know what the fuck you talking about, boy. But hell no, I don't know what the fuck you talking about. Looking back, JJK had a lot of problems. Yeah, a lot of mangas have a lot of problems looking back. But JJK had like infinite hype because, I mean, we thought all those problems would just get solved. You think JJK 3 could retroactively fix the ending of JJK? No. No chance. It's too far in the future. What's your next vid gonna be about? Don't worry about that, nigga. And nigga, don't worry about that shit, nigga. Kenjaku plotline just ending was so trash. Yeah. Yeah, when you bring up like the many disappointments with JJK, a lot of people are gonna start there with like, yeah, Kenjaku's ending is kind of ass. And I mean, it was terrible, especially for someone so hyped up. I never thought the merger would happen in full effect, right? I never thought the merger would happen in full effect. I thought whenever Sukuna got the activation for the merger, that we would see the merger on a smaller scale, through some type of binding vow. Like, oh, so I'm literally thinking like, oh, Sukuna got it, binding vow. He's gonna find some way to activate it beforehand. because the condition to starting the merger was every Culling Games player has to be dead. So like that condition, that was never going to be fulfilled. That was never going to be fulfilled. But there was potential to like, if you have Kenjaku as a game master, you just like you remove certain players from the game, makes it easier. I'm gonna shoot to watch this 17-minute video and it's really good. What's the video? Hikari got sidelined. Yeah. The Hikari Arame fight being sidelined was ass. Especially because like the little bit we got of the fight was so tough. It was so tough. It was something you want to see. And then like when we flash back to the fight and Urame's covered the entire city in ice. Like, come on, bro. Let me see that. I think we might get to see merger and a spinoff from what Gege said. Yeah, maybe. Maybe we'll get to see the merger and a spinoff. 10 to 20 more chapters. Yeah, for sure. When loyalty means betraying everything by no operator. Let's see. Nigga, this shit is not 17 minutes. It's 25. You can skip some sections and it'll be 17. I don't know, bro. Chat, do y'all want to watch this shit? How much should I charge that nigga, chat? I just beat my Rico, by the way. You had a fucking Rico? What the fuck your stupid ass get a Rico for? Smooth 50? Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Hell no, McRib. Hell no. Add this to that fund. Add this to that fund. Then let's get that done quicker. We'll watch this video another time. See, I fuck with that nigga Kaiju, bro. Kaiju wants niggas to get paid. I fuck with that dude. $1K and skip to the last 8 minutes. Depends on how fast you can finish 127 chapters. Oh, now I'm not gonna read it before you pay me. How much the in stream right now? 500. You gotta PayPal it to me though. Or Cash App, I don't care. YouTube not taking none of this shit. I'ma still sell dope, I don't care. Red J Web, no one's believing you're this tough. What is Hell's Paradise? Have y'all read Hell's Paradise? Y'all tell me how good it is. What's the video idea anyway, McRib? Say all of that. What is that? Is Hell's Paradise good? You think Gege is going to introduce another 6 size limitless user? No. A 6 size user? Probably. But not 6 eyes limitless. Who would win, 6 or swag? I'm whooping the boy. Never read it, but it has good rep. Okay. Six out of 10. DM it to me on Discord, McRib. Do you think Sukuna is a Sumerian hybrid? Yeah, for sure. Or at least at the very least, per last, I think he's a descendant. At the very least. I think the markings and everything are definitely leading to that. The name of the spaceship is Sukuna. That's it. Hey, look. Screenshot that you said that, Peak Fiction, and write it down. Write that shit down. Because when that turns true, that's something you want to be able to claim. Six from Wakanda. Man, nigga, that's racist as hell. Jesus Christ, that nigga's racist. Sukuna's mom is half alien. Maybe. CE mutations? Hell no. Actually, that's the worst thing I ever heard in my life. I'm gonna fuck you up for saying that, actually. Where was what confirmed? We talking about Gogeta? 2 lives in a row, gotta be Genjutsu? Come on now. I used to stream hella. Yuta or Kenjaku? I'll go Kenjaku. I mean, I'm sorry, I'll go Yuta. Fuck Kenjaku. Nigga in Ghetto's body. The 6 eyes predate this channel? That's true. See my Hunter x Hunter tier list, big bro? Yeah, I saw it. I didn't read none of it though. Hello, Spencer. Thank you for the $2. It's gonna go a long way, man. It's gonna go a long way. Favorite Cartoon Network cartoon? Regular Show. Since we collabing on that MLP video, I don't know what the fuck that is. Why don't you tell the stream your favorite main pony? What the fuck is that nigga talking about? Oh, no, that nigga's a weirdo. You're a weirdo. Appreciate the fight though, man. That's gonna go a long way. I'm finna invest with that shit. I'm finna invest, and if in 10 years, I'm gonna at least double that 5. Big fella, I'm not collabing with you, and stop telling people that. Big fella's a weirdo. Grass is green. Appreciate that dollar, J Webb. That shit gonna go a long way. Within the next 4 months, I will at least double that dollar. Have you ever done a face reveal, and if not, how much for one? No, I never have. How much for one? 9 billion. No, I don't know. It would depend on whether it's personal or like a public one. Personal face reveal, not that much. Damn, Spencer, 50? I'm getting slimed out for 50? Damn, gang. Would you do it public for 20K? Yeah. 2K? Nah. 20K, yeah. Nah, it can't be any amount of, it can't be an amount of money that I could like make if I just worked for a month. Like if I locked in for a month, no, I don't even have to fully lock in. Like if I like 70% lock in for a month, I can make 6K. But if I was to make 20K in a month, I would have to, Jesus Christ, I would have to go stupid. I would have to have the best video ideas and everything. Thank you, Spencer. 14K. Spencer, what was the most I made in a month whenever I was getting all those sponsorships and whatnot? Was it 14K? I think it was more like 12. 6 helps me sell Fent. Not anymore, buddy. Including sponsors, it was 12.5. Okay. So yeah, I'd probably do it for 14K. Good judo. It was a crazy month ago. Yeah. I need a man that's gonna treat me right, period. What type of gay shit is he on? What do you mean you need a man that's gonna treat you right? Man, take that 2 back. That shit not going nowhere. I ain't investing that $2. Double the 2 in 3 months. I don't even know, bro. McRib, you didn't DM me the video idea. You going shopping for that Lululemon? Come on, dude. I'm not homophobic. Leaks from Clayface indicate Pattinson joining DCU. It's not happening, gang. It's not happening. But appreciate the two though. That shit finna go. That shit finna go hella far. Miski, your two has the gayest thing ever attached to it. Oh, wait, hold up. But before we continue the stream, everybody in chat, right? Yes, I've read Hunter x Hunter. But before we go on with the stream, we all agree that being gay or having sex with a man are not the gayest things you can do. Like I feel like everyone should agree with that. I know Miski's not a girl. I've talked to that gay ass dude. Elaborate. Okay. For example, right? I think I think something gayer than fucking a dude would be just begging for dick. Like imagine a nigga sitting there just begging for dick. Like that has to be gayer than fucking a dude. Has to be. Like you know what I mean? Yeah, exactly, Ghost. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Being gay is a spectrum. Yeah, exactly. Which means that there's gayer and less gay things. Blocking your mans over a game for a day. Leaving. Oh no, fuck that. Fuck that. Like when niggas leave the Discord server for attention. That shit. That shit. That's up there. That's gayer than fucking a dude, for sure. Yeah, leaving the group chat for attention. That's gayer than fucking a dude. Read my last question. I don't see it on the thing. I don't feel like scrolling up. I feel like having Grinder installed is gayer than fucking a dude. Snapchat. What is Snapchat Premium? um, where you can side swipe and stuff. Side swipe. Oh, I didn't think about that. Yeah, marrying a dude is probably gayer than fucking a dude. Proposing to a guy is insanely gay. Which one is gayer, being a top or bottom? No. Now I've had this conversation at length before, right? Being a top is gayer. And listen to why. Listen to why. So if you're being a top, right? That means you want butt, clearly. You clearly want butt, but it has to be dude butt. It has to be dude butt. You won't settle for anything else. You need dude butt. You could easily get a girl's butt. Uh, for you even take it to trans women. You can get a trans woman's butt, but that's gayer. That's definitely gayer, because that means you are actively seeking out man butt. First time on this channel, what are we talking about? Please don't let this be the first time you're in the live, bro. Please. This is not what we normally talk about. But do y'all get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? No. Obviously, getting fucked by dudes is gay, right? Getting fucked by dudes is gay. But like, it's just different. Like, it's different though the other way. Yeah, I didn't read that though. No. Big fella's a fucking creep. Bottom is gayer, bro. But it's not gayer. Like, they're both gay, right? Because we're talking about gay dudes. They're both gay. But being a bottom is not gayer. Like, let's compare it to billionaires, right? Being a bottom is like being the Bill Gates of being gay. And then being a top is like the Elon Musks. Like, they're both just different tiers of gay. The gayest thing to do with Elon? I don't know. Everything I could think of that's the gayest thing to do isn't scientifically possible yet. Like hypothetically, the gayest thing to do would be to invent time travel and try to fuck every dude throughout history. That would be that's the gayest thing. 100%. Y'all can't disagree with that. Gay son to act like a black woman is hell. Okay. What the fuck? Did you test these theories? No, I didn't test them. But what I'm saying is, but think about it, right? Okay. It's gay to fuck a dude, right? So if it's gay to fuck a dude, that means it's even gayer to fuck two dudes. Okay. If it's gay to fuck two dudes, that means it's even gayer to fuck three dudes. Okay, so then that must mean that the gayest thing here would be to fuck every man on the planet, right? Okay, that's only a limited amount of men. So something even gayer than that, and taking it to the maximum, would be someone who invented time travel to fuck every man ever. You get what I'm saying? Because like, even if there was a gay nigga out there who made it his personal mission right now to fuck every dude on the planet, right? Like, he's like, right now I'm fucking every dude on the planet. Within 1 minute, some people would die. He would never even get to accomplish that goal. You think Whis can beat Superman? Some iterations, yeah. Beat Man of Steel. Beat Superman 2025. Any live action Superman, yeah, Whis is clapping him up. Power scaling the spectrum is some shit only you could do. Yeah. Yeah. Appreciate it. It's my birthday, by the way. Happy birthday again. But I'm making sense, right? Like niggas understand how that's the gayest thing possible. The only thing gayer than fucking every dude in history is fucking every dude in history twice. You know? Naruto has the potential to be the gayest. There's not really time travel in Naruto though. Now, another thing that's really gay, and this is probably like number 2, right? So say we figure out space travel to the point where we can like regularly go to the moon, right? Or like any celestial body. And then you make it your personal mission to be the first dude to get fucked on every celestial body in the universe. That's also extremely gay. It's not gayer than fucking every nigga in history, but that's up there. That's like number 2. Am I making sense? We never up in the woman demographic. Okay, y'all are calling me crazy, whatever. But am I making sense? Am I making sense? Take is valid. Okay, yeah, exactly. But see what I mean? Supposed to be talking about Boruto hate. Nigga, we talked about that shit earlier. Anyway, I want to watch this Mr. Fusion video. We're gonna do that now. No audio, no audio. I know there wasn't no audio, nigga.
There aren't many action scenes and no cool characters appear. It won't make you emotional, there are no thrills or suspense, and of course, it's not the sort of wholesome work that will remain in your heart.
Why did Toriyama say that? This has to be the worst promo of all time. That has to be the worst promo of all time. Why would he possibly say this?
Wow, Toriyama, don't hype this up too much. Personally, as a writer, it has my number 1 favorite story and protagonist out of anything I've done in the past. Okay, that's a bit better. Ginga Patroru Jako, or Jako the Galactic Patrolman, is a 10 or 11 or 12 installment limited series for Weekly Shonen Jump, written and drawn by Toriyama Akira in 2013. Apparently this was supposed to be released in tandem with Battle of Gods, which we covered last time. However, Toriyama got behind on his work, so it didn't start its run until 4 months after the movie. Apparently, when you get to be someone in Toriyama's stature, the companies you work for just go, That's okay. Don't worry about the corporate synergy we were literally banking on. Just get it to us when you can.
You know what's funny about that? Toriyama said when he's designing Beast Gohan, right? Like he's commenting on his design about Beast Gohan. He's like, yeah, originally I had his like skin pale white and he looked like a lot more creepy or whatever. But he's like, I didn't go with that, but I took this design into the studio and I was fully expecting everyone to be like, no, this sucks. And he was so surprised when everyone was like actually fucking with the design. So like Beast Gohan is probably some straight troll shit that Toriyama drew and just nobody can say no to him. So it just got through.
So why am I covering this in Dragon Ball Dissection when it's not Dragon Ball? Toriyama drew lots of limited series across his career, and I haven't covered all of those. Well, that's because Jocko the Galactic Patrolman informs pretty much everything in the revival era of Dragon Ball from this point on. And I don't mean in subtle, obscure ways that only the nerdiest of nerds would care about. This is stuff that permeates every inch of Dragon Ball Super. The Galactic Patrol that Goku and Vegeta work for an entire story arc is from Jocko. The Galactic King that Goku gets a little too friendly with is from Jocko. Bluma's older sister and Goku's mother are both introduced in Jocko. The entire backstory of the destruction of Planet Vegeta that would later be adapted in the Broly movie and expanded on in the Dragon Ball Super manga was created in Jocko. And of course, Jocko himself, who would become a major player in Dragon Ball stories from this point on, was introduced in Jocko. This might not officially be part of any Dragon Ball series, but really, it's required reading. Certainly more so than most actual Dragon Ball films are required viewing. Amazingly though, the rabbit hole goes even deeper. The concept of the Galactic Patrol dates back to two one-shots called Sachie-chan Gu and Jia, released in 2008 and 2010 respectively. They were both collaborations between Toriyama and manga author Katsura Masakazu, known for, among other things, Video Girl Ai, and for being the person who inspired the concept of fusion during the Majin Buu arc. While they certainly share some ideas and aesthetics, a lot of the specific details are different between these two stories in Jocko, so it's not really clear if they are even supposed to be in any kind of continuity with each other. Sachie-chan and Jia certainly don't have any direct narrative connections to either Jocko or Dragon Ball. They really just share the idea of the existence of a galactic patrol sending officers down to an Earth for various reasons. At the very least, Sachie-chan and Jia served as concepts of inspiration for Toriyama to return to, this time by himself. Jocko the Galactic Patrolman makes no big secret about being connected to Dragon Ball, while Toriyama opens the series being rather coy about it, only stating there's a reason this story might have a retro feel to it. Other aspects are less subtle, or rather they begin to pile up in a way that becomes hard to ignore. Jocko's mission on Earth is to stop an alien invader. The second a character named Tights enters the story, it should be pretty obvious to whose lineage she belongs. Jump just went ahead and removed any pretense by loudly declaring this to be the revival of Dragon Ball. And then there's the complicated chapter numbering system. While the series starts at chapter 1 and continues in a logical fashion, there's more to it. Each chapter has a little graphic on its first page showing the chapter number over 10 plus 1. That's to indicate that, for example, this is chapter 1 out of a total of 10 plus 1 chapters. Then, below that, there's another counting system, this one counting down. The first chapter is DB-11, followed by DB-10, and so on and so forth. I can't imagine anyone not immediately realizing, or at least suspecting, what DB stands for. So yeah, there's a lot of weird math in the numbering, but they fit within their own twisted logic. The counting down to Dragon Ball makes sense as it's a Dragon Ball prequel. The title of the bonus chapter in the collected release, Dragon Ball Minus, makes sense when you put it in context of this DB minus blank countdown. But why this 10 plus 1 gobbledygook? Why isn't it just 11? With all the important Dragon Ball connections I mentioned, you might think that Jocko's story is entirely preoccupied with Dragon Ball, but it really isn't. At least, not for the most part. As I mentioned when I covered Nekomajin earlier this year, Jocko is something of an inverse of that series. Nekomajin would evolve, or devolve depending on your perspective, into a holding pen for Dragon Ball references. Oh, here's the chapter where Vegeta shows up. Oh, here's the chapter where Majin Buu shows up. Jocko is not like that at all, hence the numbering. See, in the main 10 chapters, the connection to Dragon Ball stays completely in the background. Yes, Jocko comes to Earth to prevent the arrival of who we eventually learn is Goku, but that isn't made explicit in the main story. His mission is simply the impetus for Jocko traveling to Earth, after which it's mainly brushed aside in favor of his more immediate concern. Jocko has damaged his ship and needs to find a way to repair it. Yes, there is a main character named Tights, but her family isn't directly referenced in the main 10 chapters. All of that explicit Dragon Ball stuff is sequestered away in chapter +1 at the very end. After the very end. I assume that's why it's numbered the way it is. I can see how that could be annoying to some people that it appears Jocko the Galactic Patrolman is dangling a carrot on a stick, teasing its audience with the implied promise of a Dragon Ball prequel so they'll follow along with this new series, only to hold off on delivering the goods until the last possible minute. But I actually really like that. It allows Jocko the Galactic Patrolman to have its own identity. If this whole series was just a collection of, hey, this is how this thing in Dragon Ball happens, the constant barrage of vacuous fan service would force my eyes to roll into the back of my head and out the other side. If Tights only existed as a conduit to introduce...
Why was this made again? I've read the Jocko manga before. Like it's pretty cool. It's an okay part of Dragon Ball. It's actually like of some of the slop that came in Super, this is like pretty good by those standards. But like I don't get this. Like I don't get why this before Battle of Gods? Or I guess after technically, but why?
Younger versions of her more famous family members, I would hate it. But since the story establishes her as her own character first, I already like her, not for who she's connected to, but for who she is. As such, I'm more willing to accept the cameos in Chapter +1. It's the perfect have your cake and eat it too structure. Jocko gets to be its own story with its own characters and its own identity, and fine, you can have this one chapter where we explicitly connect it to Dragon Ball while still building on that fun original story. And then a bonus chapter that has no time to tell a story.
I have never in my life seen Fairy Tail. So I don't know. But I appreciate the 10, thank you.
Because it's too busy dumping out tortured, boring fan service exposition. Yeah, I'm a little less forgiving toward that one, but I've already covered Dragon Ball Minus. Now that you know what Jocko the Galactic Patrolman is and how it works, let's get into it. Jocko, some might even say the Galactic Patrolman, is flying to Earth in his spaceship. He's distracted by a video he's watching, however, causing him to bounce into the moon and crash into the sea just off the island of one Omori Tokunoshin. Omori is a theoretical physicist who was brought to this island to work on a secret government project. Since the whole thing literally blew up in their faces, Omori continues to live on the island alone.
Yes,
He's
this
still
is
grieving the loss of his wife who
Mr.
died in the
Fusion.
accident, and he doesn't like other people, but he agrees to take Jocko in and help him fix his ship. If you think I took too long to get to the story dissecting part of this dissection, that's somewhat in line with the story itself. Jocko the Galactic Patrolman moves at a very leisurely pace. And yeah, sometimes leisurely is
Jocko's
just used as a
naked.
diplomatic
What the fuck? Oh God.
euphemism for slow. Here, though, I mean that in the best sense of the word. Jocko is far more character-driven than plot-driven. The plot is just an excuse to get these two men together so they can play off of each other. Jocko is wacky and mercurial and full of himself. Omori is the straight man. He's a bit cantankerous and misanthropic, but generally kind-hearted and even-keeled. For the first few chapters, they don't really do all that much other than get to know each other. They talk about their respective lives, their attitudes, they bicker and help each other with their problems. It comes across rather like a two-person stage play. It's interesting, so many times a story will get bogged down in exposition, characters inelegantly vomiting out plot, just to get it done. Here, there is also a lot of exposition in the dialogue, but it's not really serving a plot purpose. We don't learn that Jocko is the third tallest member of the Galactic Patrol, or that he carries an extinction bomb that can wipe out humanity with a virus, because they are plot points we need to know for later. Instead, those pieces of information are there to set up jokes that teach us about the characters. Jocko brags about how his height measures up because he's very sensitive about how short he is. The bomb exists because Omori's horrified reaction to it immediately demonstrates that his grousing about humans being awful is largely just that. Throughout this story, Omori is constantly holding back Jocko's worst impulses, trying to protect other people from his antics. Through his experiences, Omori learns more about himself, that he does care about people, that he actually is open to forming a new family. Not to say that it's too sentimental, Toriyama wouldn't have that. Omori's development is more of an undercurrent. Even when Omori explains his tragic backstory that resulted in the death of his wife, the seriousness is undercut by Jocko being too distracted by the existence of roaches to pay attention. Other exposition is spiced up by Jocko performing Galactic Patrol poses during it. When Omori questions why he's doing that, Jocko admits it makes things more exciting. Toriyama is honest in his self-deprecating remarks about the story. This isn't the bombastic fighting of Dragon Ball, although there is action and fighting in it. It's not the absurd laugh-a-minute gags of Dr. Slump, although there is plenty of humor. But even that humor isn't in the vein of the gross-out or titillating variety that Toriyama is often known for. What this story
Goku's body didn't immediately explode. How strong do you think Goku would be with Kaioken times infinity? Well, he'd be infinitely strong. He'd be strong to an infinite degree in terms of a 3D scale. If you think Goku's 4D though, then obviously he'd be infinitely 4D. If you think he's 5D, then he'd be infinitely 5D. I think he's 3D though, so he'd have literal infinite power. Definitely stronger than Kaioken times 10. At least. I don't know about times 20, but he's stronger than times 10.
is cozy. In fact,
thank
I
you
think
for
of
the
this as
10
what would
again.
play out as a conversation between Toriyama and Toriyama. I'm doing quite a bit of projecting here, so I could be completely off base. I certainly never had the privilege of meeting Toriyama Akira during his lifetime. Omori is isolationist, distrustful of authority. That seems to track with how reclusive Toriyama became later in life. Jocko is flamboyant and braggadocious, but not quite able to back up all the talk, very much in the vein of Toriyama's favorite swaggering characters like Senbei or Mr. Satan. The word Jocko refers to tiny fish that are used to season rice, but can also be read as referring to someone who's a small fry. Omori, by contrast, means a full portion of food. See how they fit together? The story begins to develop with the arrival of Katayude of the government police. He's here to inform Omori that he's living on this island illegally and has to move within a week, despite Omori's protestations that he's the only one who's maintained the island for all these years, and that his wife's grave is here. As Katayude departs, he spies Jocko, who had been hiding on a cliff. Jocko expresses his regret that Omori will have to leave the island. Omori thinks this is a sign of solidarity, but in true Jocko fashion, Jocko is more concerned that Omori won't be able to fix his ship before then. Still, he's not completely unsympathetic and decides to get even with Katayude by throwing a rock across the sea, sinking his ship. Jocko eventually realizes that what Omori had been hired to work on, and is still secretly working on, is a time machine. Apparently time travel is forbidden and strongly punished by galactic law, so Jocko discourages him from continuing. While Omori admits his motive is to save those who died in the accident, including his wife, he assures Jocko he hasn't had any success. All his machine can do is briefly speed up the user's perception of time, rendering the world as so slow that time effectively stops. It's basically super speed. Jocko reluctantly agrees that maybe that doesn't break the law. Still, to a Dragon Ball fan who's reading and has realized the connection, this immediately raises some red flags given that time travel has been a major conceit in that story. What I'm impressed by is that Toriyama actually foreshadows Omori's relationship to time travel in the first chapter, as he is shown reading a book by Herbert George Wells, more commonly known as H.G. Wells. And while I haven't been able to find any evidence the real H.G. Wells ever wrote a story called Hours of Operation, is it possible that's just a really bad translation of The Time Machine? Omori discovers the material in Jocko's spaceship that he believes might be the fuel source they need to replace. Unfortunately, that material is sky gold, which, true to its name, is prohibitively expensive. As the two struggle to figure out a way to raise the money, they plan a trip into town to buy food, as Jocko only eats cheese and milk. This night trip into the city is the perfect time to talk about the art. I think this series looks really good. Toriyama said he was going for a picture book style with Jocko. Because of that, he drew the entire thing digitally. While he complained about it actually taking longer and resulting in less of a sense of speed than when he was drawing traditionally, he reasoned the relative lack of action scenes made it a decent choice regardless. I like the cute round designs. Jocko is pretty simplistic looking, with really basic lines that give him an alien appearance. Omori is squat and cartoony, but his face is amazingly detailed. I think the computer-based process is why Toriyama was able to use so much screen tone, something he typically never did during Dragon Ball due to how time-consuming it was. The lack of it gives Toriyama's art a very clean look, but the screen tone in Jocko looks good. It gives objects and backgrounds a lot of texture and depth, and allows for 3 chapters in a row to take place entirely at night. Remember that that's something that rarely happens in Dragon Ball, especially later in the series. I like it. However, something I hope you haven't been noticing is the opposite pages bleeding through. This is another one of those instances where I had to make my own scans and frantically clean them up while working on the last several videos. And that screen tone made it very difficult for me to even out all of the color variations that would bleed through during scanning. I'm doing the best I can in the time that I have. Jocko in the city provides the first really big opportunity for hijinks. Jocko is itching to bring down the hammer of justice on anybody for anything, while Omori just wants them to keep a low profile so that it doesn't get out that Jocko is an alien. There's really only so much Omori can do though, especially after an old lady rewards Jocko with money for saving her from a purse snatcher. Once again, the Dragon Ball references remain pretty subtle. This very much feels like the kinds of encounters Goku would find himself in while visiting the city for the first time. This also demonstrates an example of how the series tries to distance itself from Dragon Ball, to maybe throw people off the trail. The currency in use in this story is yen, not the ubiquitous Dragon Ball Zenny. The names Jako, Omori, and Katayude aren't the kinds of names you often hear in Dragon Ball. They're very Japanese jokes, whereas Dragon Ball more often has character names based on English or Western words. While Omori is away shopping, Jako can't help but jump in while a girl is being accosted by a bunch of cosplayers? Actually, the cast of extras in this city are quite interesting to look at, dressed in all eras of fashion. There are probably tons of Toriyama character references I haven't even yet noticed. Jako swoops in, beats up the ruffians after they insult his height, and then beats up the cops who come in to quell the fight. That's a problem, so Jako, Omori, and the girl have to hoof it up to the roof of a building to hide out. When the girl introduces herself as Tights, Omori comments that that's a Western name. Without beating you over the head with it, it provides a pretty obvious clue as to whom Tights is related. This information, while relevant to its own story, adds some trivia to the Dragon Ball world. They're in the Eastern Metropolis right now. These characters have Japanese-sounding names, not to mention surnames, something else that has been stated to not be typical in the world of Dragon Ball. But you know who will have both of those very soon? Son Goku, who grows up in the East. So Jako implies an East-West cultural divide, at least at this earlier point in the timeline. By extension, possibly spurred on by later events of this story, it also implies a greater Western proliferation in the fictional world's future. Anyway, Tights quickly figures out that Jako is an alien and is excited by it rather than afraid. Jako is such a show-off, as always, that when he introduces himself, he has to do it by posing on the railing on the edge of the roof. Naturally, the cops spot him immediately and their cover is blown. That's where we get that oft-promoted image of Jako rocketing his newfound friends to safety. They fly to the harbor and retreat back to the island. However, Jako's troubles are just beginning. Not only did they have to leave their food behind, Jako is now all over the news. Or at least, their interpretation of him is. To Jako's absolute horror, the newscasters are referring to him as Mask Man, which is a very lame name and not accurate because that's his face, thank you very much. They're also describing him as 145 centimeters tall when he is very clearly 148 centimeters. Oh, also he's wanted for beating up all those people. Believe it or not, we've made it through over 100 pages of manga today. I've been working really hard lately, so I think I've long since earned myself a multi-part video. That is my typical format anyway, and I haven't gotten to do it all year. I've been cramming everything from a single topic into one video, and it's been killing me.
I didn't notice this was part 1. It's a good video. Go subscribe to Mr. Fusion. He's cold. I was not even reacting. The fuck you want me to react to? The nigga, he was just covering the damn manga. You're cool too. Thanks, man. Bro, one of these, you know, the Jubilee surrounded videos, one of the ones I really wanted to watch on stream was this one where this guy named Mehdi, he debated 20 like far right conservatives, but really it was just a bunch of like neo-Nazis and fascists. It was fucking crazy. That was crazy. When I was watching it, I was like, damn, I should have watched this on stream. Did it actually get a sequel? Yeah, it got a sequel. Let's watch it. Nah. No. I already watched it. And plus, I would have to stream it on Twitch anyway, because YouTube and Jubilee don't like when you stream those videos on this platform. No, I did not watch that. But I'm leaving now. I've streamed for an hour and a half. That's way longer than I normally stream. Be grateful. I'm trolling. But I'll catch you niggas.